students, this is Dr. Shell, and I wanted to take this first introductory video to sort of welcome you to class and discuss the expectations of the course and the way it's structured. There are times that I really miss being in a physical classroom with physical bodies because it's much easier for you to ask questions and for us to sort of read body language, and I can tell if people are understanding or confused. So what I'm going to do is sort of walk you through what you see on Blackboard and what the layout of the class is. I'm going to go piece by piece so that I can sort of lay that out for you so you understand how I design the class so that you can be successful. And I also want to recommend to you that you take notes. Even though this is an online class and many of the things that we're going to do you will have in front of you, I highly recommend that you take notes. I suggest you get a philosophy notebook and your logic notebook and designate it to be the place you're going to keep your logic notes. You need to take notes on this assignment. There's a quiz, and you're going to get points to make sure you understand all the requirements of the course and where to find things. So as you're watching videos, whether they're YouTube videos or crash course videos, as you're reading, you need to be taking notes so that you can have them to refer back to, and it just helps you learn better. And of course, the very first thing you're going to see when you open up our course in Blackboard is this sort of home screen. And on the left-hand column, it has a series of bullets or entries that show you the different pieces of our course. And so again, I'm going to walk you through each one of these, but it's really important that you understand how to open these, how to find assignments and submit assignments. If you're a little unfamiliar with all of that, on your course list, not just mine, but if you go back to your general list where it shows all your courses, there is a tutorial on how to work with Blackboard, and that's been put together by IT people, and you can go through that to make sure you understand how to submit things on Blackboard and how it works. But I'm assuming you know how to work with Blackboard, and then I'm going to show you in our class what you need to be able to manipulate and where you need to check to make sure you're up with your assignments and everything is submitted and copacetic. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is open up the announcements. I've set it up so that when you open up my class, the first thing you see should be this stuff on the left in the black area, and then next to it are the announcements. Now, they may not be spread out. They might be compressed, and I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and expand them so you can see what my announcements are. The most recent announcements always on top, and then I use this to tell you all kinds of things. May have to do with reminders. I don't always send those, but frequently do. Also, if a student maybe notices that there's a problem with a link, then I will correct it, and usually I'll put on the announcements to say, hey, I corrected the link, thank you for letting me know. And stuff happens, so I will sometimes put a quote of the day or a thought for the week. And of course, every good college class is going to have a syllabus. And so when you click on the syllabus tab here, it's actually going to open up two different options, two different links. One of them will be sort of the traditional syllabus, and then one of them is going to be an outline of the course. This will include due dates, and it'll also include hyperlinks to materials that I expect you to be able to access. So both of those are important. Once you sort of view the syllabus, generally you're going to want to spend a lot of time making sure you know about that outline. I suggest you don't print it. I suggest you reference it digitally because it is a work in progress and it might change. And so you're going to want to make sure that if I put up a new link or a new video to watch, that you're looking at, in each unit, you're looking at the appropriate information. So make sure you check the actual outline throughout the semester, and especially each unit as we get into it. Let me pause this just a second. So, in addition to the general things about what our textbooks are and how the grading breaks down, which all this kind of stuff you see in the syllabus, and there's directions on all manner of things. Um, One of the things I need to really make sure you understand, first of all, is I do not accept late work. So this is an online course, and even though we open up units and there are deadlines, you don't have to be at class a certain time. So you need to make sure that you have worked around your schedule to make sure that you can submit the work when it's due. I do not accept late work. And also, it's important to know that the last day to drop this class is the day after the midterm, which is March 7th. So if you in the first half of the course do not feel like you're going to be successful, then you need to withdraw by the midpoint, which is March the 7th there, as you saw. Okay, and as I've already alluded to, the way I structure my online classes is that we are dealing with discrete units. So, and they have beginning dates and they have end dates. And so each unit will deal with a particular area of ethics, and we'll work in that area, and you'll have submissions and things to turn in. And then that will close and the next unit will open. So you're going to want to really make sure that you observe the dates for those unit pieces. But I think that helps sort of, instead of it just one big chunk of information and assignments. So this is not a work at your own leisure kind. Now some online classes are like that. You're sort of on your own and you can work at your own pace. And if you want to wait till the last week of school and cram it all in, you can do that. You cannot do that in this course. These are designed in particular units, and the work in those units has to be completed within that unit. Okay, so once you open a unit, you're going to see all the assignments. And one of the things that's going to be listed there is a link back to the course outline. So you're going to want to make sure that you're constantly going back to that course outline, because that's where you're going to see your due dates. You're going to see a description of the assignments. If there's hyperlinks to a video or a reading, those are going to be here. So each time you start a new unit, go to the outline, the course outline, and look to see what's there. And so let me just show you, as we go into this course on logic, you're going to see it follows kind of a similar pattern. You're going to have chapters to read in our textbook, sometimes 3, sometimes less. And then there will be a series of quizzes over those chapters. Now, the quizzes are not due till the last day of that unit, and they're due at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I would not wait until that last possible moment to try to get those quizzes done, because the information in the chapters is going to be used in the other parts of the unit. So I would suggest, read the chapter, take the quiz. Read the chapter, take the quiz. And then you'll be able to use that material in the other assignments inside that unit. But they're technically not due until the last day of the last minute of the unit. Then in each unit, there's something I call logic in the wild. And these are like where you're going to be asked to take the material that I've presented online and take the material that you have read, and you're going to find a real example of logic out literally in the wild. Now, social media is a great place to find these things, or if you follow the news online, there's lots of stuff everywhere. And so you're going to want to find something, read it, you're going to want to copy the link, and then you're going to present a paragraph discussion of the logic that you found. And there'll be examples of that in terms of what I'm looking for. Even though it's a discussion essay, be really careful that it doesn't become a sort of social media shout out. These are like the things we would talk about in class if you were there. So they need to be thoughtful. They need to be articulated well. Make sure that you have a good source. You're going to have to quote your sources, interact with our course material, and then you're going to reply to fellow students. And again, that is not just a, hey, Bob, I like what you wrote there. You're going to have to tell me why. Why did you like what was written there? Is there anything missing? How does it compare to what you said? How does it compare to what you read? So you're going to have this logic in the wild, which is a discussion post. Please note that your essay is due almost always on a Friday, and your replies are due by Sunday. If you don't reply, if you don't put your initial essay on Friday, then you can't reply. So to get credit for this assignment, you've got to put your essay up on the day that it's due. That's the first date. Then you have 2 more days to reply. But inevitably somebody will miss that, and they'll see that last possible date, and they want to put their reply and they want to put their essay in on the same day. And you can't do that after the original date. So the first date is when you have to do your essay. You can reply then if you want to, but the essays are due that first day. And then each unit will have something that I call a unit application. And this is a more involved, they're not necessarily just exams. They could be reflecting on different kinds of arguments. They can be somewhat like projects. So you're going to want to see each unit has its own sort of application. In this case, we're going to be talking about psychological biases that get in the way of our logical thinking, and you're going to have to find an example of a current event in which the person in it is displaying a psychological bias, and we'll talk about that, and you'll be able to do that really well. The other thing you see here is a list of materials, things to read, things to watch, other materials, the resources there. Some of those will be handouts, some of those will be PowerPoints that you can use, or links to my videos. So the next thing you'll see as you come down the list there on the left-hand side is this thing I call Doc Shell's Emporium of Philosophical Wonders. This is a site that I've been just collecting all kinds of things. Most of it is exceptional student work. So if you want to know what I'm looking for, it's the best way I know to do it is for you to actually see a really good example. So there's all kinds of stuff on this little link, but among them are examples. So here is what I call an example of a discussion, online discussion and reply. So you can see it's several paragraphs long. It includes works that are cited inside that discussion, and then their reply is also deep and meaningful. And I've given you an example there of what I'm looking for. So there's all kinds of stuff on that Emporium where you can see what it is that I'm looking for, so that you can imitate that model and then be as successful as those students were. And then next up on the list is a thing I call the Logical Lodestone. It is a card that I suggest that you print out and laminate, because this has all the things you need to be successful in this class. If you know everything on this card, you will get an A+ in this class. And also, sometimes I say things rather quickly, or you're not sure how to spell something. Everything that I talk about in this course is on this form. Some people call it a cheat sheet, but it's not cheating if I gave it to you. I call it the logical lodestone. A lodestone in the ancient times into the Middle Ages, people discovered that there were certain rocks that are naturally magnetized, and they used those to make the very first compasses. So the lodestone, literally in Old English, means the sort of the guiding stone. So this is sort of your guide here. This is your roadmap to this course, and so I will refer back to it. I'll say, for example, I'll say in your lodestone, notice that P does not equal not P, and then I will know that you know what I'm talking about when I say the philosophical lodestone. And again, I really suggest that you print this out, put it in your notebook, have it handy as we go through the course. Okay, and last but not least here is what I call virtual office hours. Thursdays at 8 p.m. I will be online and on this Zoom link, and so there it's right there for you. So you can join this Zoom call and talk to me about the course, ask questions. I chose Thursday nights because most of my assignments are due Fridays and Sundays. So as you're sort of getting ready to think about the weekend and look at the materials that you need to turn in, it'd be a good chance to ask any questions before you push send. If you're I will tell you that you can pop in and ask a 30-second question and then pop out. I've had students that will come and hang out for 30 minutes, maybe an hour, listening to other students ask questions because you gain information by listening to what the questions other people have. I do not require you to come, but I will tell you this. I've been teaching online for quite a while. No student who routinely comes to my office hours has ever failed this course. So if you want to just pop in and listen, ask a question, make sure you've got the right ideas before you submit things. Because once you've submitted them and I've graded them and you did poorly, it's too late to ask what you should have done. And so it'd be much better to ask it on the front end than to try to figure out how to redeem yourself on the next assignment. So please do stop in on our virtual office hours. I know picking a time is always hard. If 8 o'clock on Thursdays is just not a possibility for you, and you do need to talk to me, we can set up a private chat. And if I have several students say that work nights and they say I really need a daytime, a morning office hours, we can work that out. In the past, my morning office hours just don't get attended. So we'll try this out. And again, if you really want to talk with me, we can work out an individual thing, or I can post to students we're having special office hours if that works out best for you. And I'd like to say a little word about our textbook. I chose it because I like it. There are lots and lots of textbooks on logic. Many of them are really big and very, very complicated. I like Louis Vaughn here. He titles it The Concise Guide to Critical Thinking, and that's exactly what it is. He gets right to the main point. It's focused much more on learning how to think critically. And in our day and age, boy, you could not have a better time to be taking a class on critical thinking than right now. So you want to read this book. There are quizzes. The way I design my quizzes is they're about 30 minutes long. There's not very many questions, but you have to do them in order. You can't go through the quiz and then come back. And that's just designed to make sure that you read the book, take notes, so that when you're ready to take that quiz, you're ready to answer. You can have your book, you can have your notes, but you will not have time to look at the quiz and then go find the answers without having read the book and worked on the material. The other thing is, in each chapter, Vaughn provides exercises and a self-assessment quiz or exam. The self-assessment has the answers in the back of the book. So before you sort of go in and take the quiz, take the self-assessment, make sure you can answer those questions effectively, check your answers. If you have questions, come to virtual office hours, email me and say, hey, I got number 3 wrong. I don't understand why. The other thing is I really suggest that you work the exercises much like math books in high school and college. Um, there's a series of exercises, and the answers to, say, every odd one are in the back of the book. So you can work some of those exercises, check them at the back of the book to see if you're on the right track. If you don't understand why you got it wrong, or you can't quite get it, again, let's come to virtual office hours. We'll talk about it. Send me an email. I can review it with you, so that you have the opportunity to sort of check yourself as you go along to really make sure you understand the material. The reason I don't assign the exercises for credit is that these days everything is on the internet. So unscrupulous students will cheat and just find the answers on the internet. They'll turn in answers that they didn't even do themselves for credit, and the honest students will work the exercises. They'll get some wrong because it's a growth exercise, but it penalizes them for actually doing it themselves. So I encourage you to do them, work those, and then if you find you're not understanding those, then we can talk about it virtual office hours, or we can talk about it online. So I think you'll like him. He's funny. I think I mentioned in my introductory video, he wrote another book that I use sometimes called Believing Bullshit, which is really funny, that really deals with all of this nonsense, what he calls intellectual black holes that we get sucked into. So we're off to a good start. Hope this all makes sense. If not, send me an email and I can clarify it, or come to that first virtual office hours and we can talk about it. Thanks so much, and looking forward to a great class together. This is Dr. Shell, sauntering on.